I recite the name of Guan Bodhisattva. I've done that for many years. And I find that it only gets more powerful the more you do it. I've learned that a lot of the time when I thought I was being productive with my mind by what I was actually doing was fretting, worrying, regretting, dreading, rehearsing, unnecessary planning. In other words, I was using that very valuable mental muscle that I have in my brain to do a lot of things that it didn't need to do, and it really needed a rest. And that rest is provided by taking the time to recite the name of Guan Yin. And now I've done it for so many years that I find that, whenever I have a minute, or when I'm driving, or I'm in the dentist chair, well, that's especially a good time to do it, but that it just naturally, it just comes, that's what I do. And what I find is that it's an amazing source of equanimity and balance and perspective and patience. And I guess the patience thing is kind of it's a circle, because it takes patience to do it, but when you do it, you become more patient. I told this story in the Buddha Hall one night when I gave a talk. I'll just tell this as just an experience that I had when I was at Dominican, and I was running a teacher education program. And sometimes I had student teachers who were not doing well out in the schools. And sometimes it was so bad that we got to the point where we were going to have to basically tell them that they could not continue in the program because they just weren't going to be teachers. And that was obviously that was a difficult conversation to have. And one of my supervisors called to tell me about a student that we've been worried about. He was teaching in Middletown, which is way over on the other side of Lake County. And the teacher, his supervising teacher in the school, was up to here. She said, he's going to have to go. This is not working. And so the supervisor wanted me to come over and observe the student. And I knew that the conversation was going to be difficult because probably we were going to have to tell him that he couldn't continue. Now, typically, knowing that I had an hour and a half drive to get to Middletown, my habitual pattern would be to sort of rehearse in my mind all the things I would say to this person, how the meeting would go. Well, if he said this, what would I say? What if the teacher said that? What would I say? And I just realized right from I said, no, wait a minute, that's not gonna work. So I set myself the task of just reciting Guan Yin all the way out there. And so I started out, Namo Guan Shu Yin Pusan, and then the thought comes in, but what if Namo Guan Shu Yin Pusan, and then you could feel the stomach clench. When you get in a difficult situation, you get that pit in your stomach, and I would just say, well, no, I'm not going there. And I managed to be pretty darn single-minded all the way out to Middletown. And as it turned out, when we sat down with the teacher and the student and we had the conference, they were able to come to a compromise to make some suggestions, and everything worked out. And when I tell this story, I say, I don't want people to take away from this that I think Guan Yin Bodhisattva, who has many more important things to do, came down and rescued this situation. That's not what happened. What happened was that I was able, through my practice, to put myself in a situation where I was not broadcasting fear, anger, disappointment, you name it, all those negative things that we can work ourselves up into. And instead I was in a place where I was just able to sort of hold the space for people to come together and talk about the situation, and it worked out. Now, it could easily have not gone that way, but in that case it did, and it was just a really good lesson to me that again, as I said at the beginning of this, that it works. This Buddhist practice stuff actually really works. And just to connect to that, Shifu used to say that Guan Yin Bodhisattva, or all the Bodhisattvas, they're always broadcasting. They're out there. They're always broadcasting. But we have to be tuned in. because it doesn't matter how, if they're broadcasting and you're busy fretting, rehearsing, regretting, accusing, playing the bad tapes, planning how you're going to take over the world, whatever it is, you're not on their wavelength. And I really have found that to be true in my life, that the fundamental energy of the universe is good and full of light, and it's just a matter of opening yourself to that, and then everything will be okay.
你念南无观世音菩萨，你念观世音菩萨，观世音菩萨也念你，彼此互念，也就好像你想你的亲戚，你亲戚也就想你。俺们和观世音菩萨是无量劫以来这个法眷属，法亲。所以俺们想俺们这个亲戚，亲兄弟，俺们兄弟这哥哥在那也去想弟弟，俺们就是观世音菩萨的弟弟，观世音菩萨就是俺们的哥哥。俺们说观世音菩萨怎么会是俺们的哥哥？那不是太高攀了吗？不是。观世音菩萨不但拿俺们当弟弟，拿所有的一切众生都当他的弟弟。要不然的时候，他为什么要寻声救苦呢？他为什么要所有的众生有什么困难，他就帮助呢？他就看一切众生是他的手足一样，是他的骨肉，所以他才这样不怕一切的困苦艰难，而来救度我们在这个娑婆世界这个苦众生。我们叫一声观世音菩萨里边包含就是哥哥。观世音菩萨就叫一声我们这个未来的菩萨，未来的佛小弟弟。你要能这样看，念观世音菩萨更应该诚心，更应该亲切念的，就像念我们自己的兄弟一样。你要知道，尼洛克你看呢和观音菩萨的看法不同。观音菩萨是看里边，你是看外边。观音菩萨他看他自己的自性，他自性和每一个众生都有个电波，都有个瑞达，那么他看他自己这个电波和瑞达，就知道一切众生的绕干众心。这个众生打什么妄想他都知道，他往里边看他那个电波和你看的不同，因为众生有的离他很远，如果要是虽然千手千眼，但是看这个无量无边的众生也不够用，也看不过来。那么他回光返照，反问自性，那么看自己的自性，自性的众生，那么哪一个受什么苦了，他就去救度这个众生。你看你是向外看把自己根本的智慧就忘了所以你这个看和他那个看不同的所以各位不要忘了自己这个法兄弟。俺们这儿一念观世音菩萨，观世音菩萨也就念我们了。